Now watch closely, because I'm about to make my first billion monies. Yes! I can finally pay off some of my student loans! There are many ways to make units in No Man's Sky, but it's very easy to waste a lot of time on a process that has very little ROI, or return on investment. That's a little economics acronym that I made up myself in 1914, good times. If you want to learn the most efficient ways to rake in that cash, or just want to impress your local gas station attendant with all of your No Man's Sky knowledge, you've come to the right video. I've tried a multitude of money-making methods myself, but there were 3 core strategies that made my billion chunks of cheddar possible. These were storm crystal foraging, chlorine farming, and activated indium mining. We'll go in order of the most profitable and most sustainable. If you're an experienced No Man's Skyer, feel free to jump to the most relevant time code or watch at 2 times speed for a quick chuckle. Storm crystals are worth 129,000 units each when sold at 0% demand. That means if you're in an average economy, you only need 8 storm crystals to make a quick million money dollars. Luckily, every time you go out looking for storm crystals, you're likely to find more than that. For the storm crystal method, not accounting for a base of operations, you'll need 5 metal plating, 2 ion batteries, and 50 paraffinium for an exocraft to help you get around quickly and act as additional storage, as well as a hazard protection unit to be installed in the exocraft to keep you safe while you're in there. I also like to keep a couple of beanie babies in there for company. To find storm crystals, you need to find an extreme planet. These will contain an activated metal of some type, like emerald, cadmium, copper, or indium, and they're often found in green and blue star systems, but I've also found one in a common yellow. They're also known to blast heavy metal in my experience. When you found a suitable planet, make a little base and an exocraft geobay of your choice, and you're ready to go. Just wait for an extreme storm to roll through. Get your booty moving and collect as many crystals as you can before the storm passes. It'll be very obvious if there are storm crystals available, because during the storm they'll emerge from their cocoons and light up the land like overachieving fireflies. I would recommend several pairs of sunglasses and Tylenol. Storm crystals even create a special icon on your analysis visor when line of sight becomes an issue. You'll want plenty of room in your inventory since you can only stack 5 crystals in one slot. When the storm's over, sell them crystals all at once to avoid economy fluctuations and get that coin. You can expect to make 2 to 4 million each time you go foraging, so it's best if you need a little pick-me-up and don't have enough resources yet for method 2. Speaking of which, chlorine farming is a little more complicated, but can yield way more units per sale. To create chlorine, you need a 1-to-1 ratio of oxygen and salt, crafted in a medium or large refiner. This chlorine has a sale price of 602 units each. Now I know that's slightly less than 129,000 units, but if you add a 2-to-1 ratio of oxygen back into the chlorine, you can sextuple the amount of chlorine just like that. Throwing in a full stack of oxygen and half stack of chlorine will max out the refiner, giving you 7 rounds of 4,095 chlorine that take 4 minutes and 5 seconds each. Just from that starting point, you'll end up with 30,000 chlorine you can sell for 18 million. No big deal. And if you're anything like me, you'll get a taste of that sweet chlorine rush and want to expand your operation. Right now, I have 15 medium refiners at one base, several oxygen farms containing multiple gas extractors and supply depots, as well as supply pipes and electromagnetic generators for power. To find the best spot for an oxygen farm, you'll need a survey device upgrade to your multi-tool so you can seek out a concentrated gas cloud. Another method is following the Taco Bell drive-thru line. From a distance, you can tell if it's a high-class spot or not. I try to get an A-class or S-class if I'm super lucky, aka never, but only when you're standing on top of it to analyze will you find out for sure that it's oxygen or another gas. Sulfurine? What even is that? I'm going back to the bottom of the ocean where things make sense. Sometimes there will also be an electromagnetic power hotspot in the vicinity to fuel your farm without relying on solar panels and batteries. If it seems pretty far away, just put your base computer in between the hotspots to ensure your base will reach both the power and oxygen hotspots. Don't worry about the class of the power hotspot. Even if it's a C class, a couple generators will go a long way. The goal of this farm is to be constantly drawing oxygen from the gas cloud, so every time you pop in, you can grab a healthy stack of gas. The more gas extractors you have, the more oxygen will be extracted per hour and the more power you'll need. The more supply depots you add, the higher the supply cap will be and the longer the harvester will keep running before it maxes out. That exact balance is up to you. I'm personally fine with allowing my farm to run a full 24 hours before filling up. This teaches patience and it gives me time to practice bocce. The downside to chlorine farming is the effort. You'll need to constantly be jumping to your gas farms, collecting oxygen, going back to your refiners, extracting and adding, extracting and adding, extracting and adding, distracting and padding, exacting and hatting. You get the idea. If you're fine with this work loop, you can make a comfortable 6 million per stack of chlorine, and if you have a hauler ship to fill up like my big chunky boy here, you can bring in 200 million with each trip to a trading post. This is nothing to scoff at, but there is a method with even better results and even less work. Two things I love immensely. Activated indium mining is the gold standard of lazy billionaire schemes. This requires 1 to 3 mining farms, and that's it. No refining needed, no extra hunting, just build a farm and wait. Planets with activated indium are in blue star galaxies, so really hard to get to in the early game. But once you have an indium drive in your ship, you can go searching for a planet with activated indium listed in its common resources. Then you can land and spend a quick 3 to 12 hours looking for a decent mineral deposit. Basalt? No one needs that. If you stumble upon an A-class or S-class deposit of activated indium, you're in business. Much like the oxygen farm, you'll want to set up several extractors, but for minerals this time. After placing 5 or so, the yield from the extractors will start dwindling, even if you're close to the center of the deposit where it's strongest, so be aware that there's definitely a limit to how many extractors you can use efficiently. You can even stack extractors on top of each other and create several groups over the same hotspot. You'll then want as many supply depots as you can handle. I have my AI farm set up to extract at least 100,000 in every 24-hour cycle. This is where Big Chunky Boy comes in handy. On average, I'll sell a hauler full of activated indium for just over 400 million in a single sale. Before you know it, you're searching trading posts and space stations trying to find an economy you haven't crashed so you can finally sell another wave of goods at a reasonable price and discover that there's a unit cap of 4,294,967,295? Apparently, I've made all of the money. But I still want more. The sustainability of these options should allow you to never again worry about the volatile nature of money, so you can finally raise anchor, get out in the universe, and... What do normal players do in No Man's Sky? Huh. Well, I should probably collect more activated indium just in case. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more No Man's Sky content, just let me know. I'd be very happy to provide. You're super cute. I love you so much.